China says Hong Kong must be ruled by loyalists. Beijing insists the aim is to uphold the rule of law.
And for more on this story, political analyst Joseph Cheng joins us live. Joseph, why did Beijing make this move now?
I believe that Beijing wants to demonstrate that it no longer tolerates any effective opposition, that is, the pro-democracy movement. It wants to assume complete control. It wants to redefine the parameters of the one country, two systems model. And it wants the Carrie Lam administration to remain effective and efficient. More important still, Beijing would like to indicate that it will not tolerate any lobbying activities on the part of Hong Kong people, on the part of Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement in Western capitals, lobbying for sanctions against the Chinese government and the Hong Kong government.
So in other words, you're saying that they're also trying to send a message to the incoming Biden administration?
It has been interpreted by some in Hong Kong that this may well be a test of the incoming Biden administration, but it is not an established view yet. In general, it is believed that Beijing would like to negotiate with the Biden administration. It believes that the Biden administration is more ready for negotiations, but there may well be tests of the Biden administration's position. There is, of course, an obvious understanding on the part of the Chinese leadership that the American public would like any government, whether Biden or Donald Trump, to take a very hawkish stand, a very strong stand vis-a-vis Beijing. There is obviously this understanding.
Coming back to Hong Kong politics, Mrs. Lam has said that she will not hold a by-election to fill the 4 disqualified lawmakers' seats. Why is that?
Well, the Carrie Lam administration has indicated months ago that it would not hold the Legislative Council elections as scheduled in September this year. So there's no reason to hold any by-elections now. There is, of course, a danger that if the pro-democracy camp manage to win a major victory in the by-elections, then there will be a loss of faith on the part of her administration and on the part of the Chinese leadership as well. It is speculated that all the pro-Beijing groups in Hong Kong have been mobilized to engage in street activities in the coming days to demonstrate the community's support for the decision of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress and to support the very strong suppression of the pro-democracy movement in the territory.
Now, critics say that, this signals the end of one country, two systems. What are your thoughts on that, and as well as the impact on, foreign companies that are operating in Hong Kong?
It is generally believed that Beijing would like to redefine the parameters of the one country, two systems model. There will be no more tolerance of the pro-democracy movement. There will be no dialogue with the pro-democracy movement. Beijing will be in control, will engage in close supervision of the territory, and the Carrie Lam administration, in the eyes of Beijing, should be supported by the entire community. There are also attempts to absorb Hong Kong into the Pearl River Delta, so much so that Hong Kong will be a part of the Pearl River Delta. And in this regional strategy, Shenzhen will probably assume a more important position than Hong Kong. But Hong Kong people certainly would resent this kind of position on the part of Beijing. But it is also understood by most Hong Kong people that there is very little they can do, although the anger, the resentment remain.
Well, speaking of the Hong Kong people, could this then ignite the protest movement that has quietened down in recent months?
It is extremely difficult to organize any large-scale protest activities, and the pro-democracy groups, including the radical ones, understand this. Any leader who attempts to initiate organization will be arrested immediately. Any activists engaged in such activities will be arrested subsequently, if not before. The general attitude on the part of the pro-democracy movement at this stage is to maintain a low profile and to engage in very long-term political struggles. But there is an understanding that there's very little one can do at this stage.
Okay, many thanks for sharing your thoughts with us this evening. Political analyst Dr. Joseph Cheng.